My stepbrother locked me in a freezing basement so I wouldn't tell anyone he was selling stolen drugs, and now I was dying under my own house. Not kidnapped, not missing, trapped by my own family. The red digital thermometer on the wall blinked 35 degrees F. That number meant nothing at first until I realized my teeth wouldn't stop chattering. My hands were stiff. My legs felt like they were disappearing. Every breath scraped my lungs like broken glass. And upstairs, Derek was walking around freely, pretending nothing was wrong, like he hadn't just tried to erase me. I was 21 years old, wearing thin cotton pajamas, lying on cold concrete, because I caught him selling prescription pills to teenagers. My name is Alina Brooks, and the basement of my childhood home had become the place I was supposed to die quietly. Yesterday afternoon, I came home early from my internship because I forgot my laptop charger. That tiny, boring mistake was the only reason I was even alive long enough to suffer. As I walked past the basement door, I heard Derek's voice. Low, nervous, 2 bottles, same price, he said. Just don't tell anyone where you got them. Something felt wrong, so I stopped and peeked through the cracked door. A boy from our neighborhood, barely old enough to shave, handed Derek a wad of cash. Derek handed him a pharmacy bag stuffed with pill bottles, my mother's pharmacy. My stomach twisted. When I confronted Derek upstairs, he didn't panic. He smiled. You really think anyone will believe you? He said, stepping closer. You're always tired, always confused. People already think you're unstable. I'm calling the police, I told him. That was my mistake. He shoved me so hard I lost my balance. I fell backward down the basement stairs. My shoulder hit the wall, my head smacked the concrete. Before I could even scream, the door slammed shut. Click. Locked. You should have stayed quiet, Derek said through the door. Now you can cool off down there, literally. The basement heating had been broken for weeks. Dad kept saying he'd fix it. Nobody ever did. The temperature had been dropping lower and lower, turning the space into a refrigerator. My phone was upstairs. No windows, no heat, just metal shelves, frozen groceries, and me. Now it had been 18 hours. I couldn't tell where my body ended and the floor began. My thoughts were slow, like they were wading through thick mud. Hypothermia does that. It makes you feel sleepy before it kills you. I forced myself to scream anyway. Mom, please. He locked me in here. My voice echoed weakly through the basement. Footsteps. The door creaked open. Derek stood there, arms crossed, looking down at me like I was a mistake. Ready to behave? He asked. I can't feel my legs, I whispered. I think I'm dying. For just a moment, something flickered in his eyes. Fear. Then my mother's voice drifted down from upstairs. Derek, why is Alina's car still here? I thought she was staying with her friend tonight. Hope exploded in my chest. Mom, I'm in the basement. He locked. The door slammed shut. His footsteps walked away.
Please, Derek, open the door. I didn't tell anyone, I swear. It's freezing in here. I can't stay down here.
She left earlier, Derek called. Went for a walk. You know how dramatic she gets. Silence. My own mother believed him. That hurt more than the cold. The man trying to destroy me was my stepbrother. The woman who could save me chose not to. I curled against the concrete, shaking so hard my teeth hurt, fighting sleep because I knew if I closed my eyes too long, I might not open them again. Derek didn't want to scare me. He wanted me silent. And silence down here meant death. But Derek made one deadly mistake. The basement wasn't as private as he thought, and someone else had already seen everything. I didn't know it yet, but while I was freezing in the dark, someone else had been watching Derek. Not from inside the house, not from the basement, but through a security camera he never knew existed. By the time my hands stopped hurting, I realized something was terribly wrong. The pain was fading. My fingers felt thick and heavy, like they didn't belong to me anymore. My thoughts were slow, drifting like I was underwater. That's how hypothermia kills you. It makes you calm right before it shuts you down. I tried to move. My legs didn't respond. Then I heard footsteps upstairs, not Derek's sharp, angry pace, my mother's. I sucked in a breath so hard it hurt. Mom, please, I whispered. The words barely left my mouth. I thought I heard something, my mother said through the door. My heart started pounding so hard it made me dizzy. She's not down there, Derek replied instantly. I already told you Alina left hours ago. I swear I heard her, Mom said. It's just the pipes, he snapped. This house is always making noise. You're imagining things. Silence. A long, terrible pause. Okay, my mother finally said. Her footsteps walked away. My stomach dropped. He hadn't even had to try that hard. Derek stayed. I could hear him breathing on the other side of the door. You really don't know when to stop, do you? He muttered. The basement door cracked open just a few inches. Cold air rushed in. Light spilled through the gap. He looked down at me, curled on the concrete like something already dead. You almost messed everything up, he said quietly. If Mom starts asking questions, things get complicated. I won't tell, I whispered. I swear, please just let me out. He watched me for a long moment, then he smiled. That's what you said yesterday? He closed the door, locked it. Then I heard something that made my blood run cold even through the numbness. A loud scraping sound, metal against wood, something heavy being dragged. He was moving something in front of the door, blocking it. Making sure no one could open it. That was the moment I understood the truth. He wasn't waiting for me to survive. He was waiting for me to stop breathing. My vision blurred. My thoughts floated away. The next thing I remember was light, harsh, blinding light and voices. Here, she's here. Hands grabbed me. She's freezing, someone said. Get the stretcher. Core temperature is dangerously low. I was lifted, carried up the stairs, past the place where my life had been shrinking. For a split second, I saw my mother standing in the hallway. Her face was pale. Her hand covered her mouth. Derek was nowhere to be seen. The hospital was heat and noise and confusion. When I woke up, warm blankets were piled on top of me. Machines beeped beside my bed. A doctor leaned over me. My name is Dr. Alvarez, she said softly. You're safe now? Derek, I croaked. Her expression changed. Yes.
Where am I? Did I make it out? I thought I was gonna die down there. Is he still here?
We know. A woman stepped into the room holding a tablet. Detective Harper, she said. Alina, I need you to answer something for me. I nodded weakly. Did your stepbrother lock you in the basement? Yes. Did he know it was cold enough to kill you? Yes. She turned the tablet toward me. Because we have him on video checking the temperature before he locked the door. My breath caught. Video? Your father installed security cameras last month, she said. One of them faces the basement door. Derek didn't know. Tears slid down my cheeks. You saw everything? Everything, she replied, including your mother coming home and choosing to walk away. My chest tightened. But there's more, Detective Harper continued. We also accessed the pharmacy footage. She tapped the screen again. Your stepbrother has been stealing prescription drugs and selling them. We finally have proof. Derek hadn't just tried to kill me. He had been running a crime operation, and I was the loose end he tried to erase. And now, the cameras had erased him instead. But what the footage revealed about my mother was even worse than what Derek had done. Thought the cameras had already shown me the worst thing possible. I was wrong. Detective Harper didn't say anything at first. She just tapped the tablet in her hands and turned the screen toward me. This footage is from the pharmacy, she said. But not the front counter, the back office. The video began playing. I saw my mother sitting at her desk. Derek stood in front of her holding a small plastic bag filled with pill bottles, the same kind he'd been selling to kids. My chest tightened. What is this? I whispered. Detective Harper didn't answer. On the screen, my mother didn't look shocked. She looked annoyed. You're being sloppy, she told Derek. You can't just take inventory without logging it. I needed cash fast, he replied. One of the kids overdosed last week. It's getting risky. My stomach flipped. You promised me this would be controlled, my mother said. If anyone traces this back to the pharmacy, we're finished. Derek shrugged. Relax, Alina's too spaced out to notice anything, and if she does, who's going to believe her? My blood turned to ice. She's always tired. Always confused, my mother said. People already think she's unstable. Those were the exact words Derek had used on me. They hadn't been his, they'd been hers. I started shaking. She knew, I whispered. She knew about the drugs, Detective Harper nodded. And that's not all. The footage jumped forward in time. I watched my mother come home the night Derek locked me in the basement. She dropped her purse on the table. She paused. I could hear my faint voice from downstairs through the audio feed. Mom, please. My mother turned toward the basement door. She heard me. Her hand moved toward the handle. Then Derek stepped in front of her. She's not down there, he said. She left. You heard the pipes. My mother hesitated. Then slowly she pulled her hand away and walked away. I let out a broken sound I didn't recognize as my own voice. She heard me, I said. She really heard me? She did, Detective Harper confirmed. And she chose not to open the door. The room felt like it was tilting. All this time I thought she was fooled. She wasn't. She sacrificed me. Dr. Alvarez stepped closer to the bed. Elena, there's one more thing. My stomach dropped. Your blood work showed something unusual, she said gently. Low levels of sedatives, consistent over time. What? I whispered. Detective Harper's eyes were dark. We found crushed pills hidden in Derek's room. He's been slipping them into your food and drinks. So I'd seem crazy, I said. So no one would believe you, she confirmed. The exhaustion, the confusion. The way I kept dropping things, forgetting conversations, feeling like I was losing my mind. It hadn't been stress, it had been poisoning. My own family had been slowly destroying me long before the basement. A knock came at the door. My father stepped inside. He looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. Elena, he said quietly, I'm so sorry. He sat beside me, his hands shaking. I installed the cameras because I suspected Derek was stealing, he said. But I never imagined this. Detective Harper stood. Mr. Brooks, your wife is being questioned right now. We have enough evidence to charge her as an accomplice. My father closed his eyes. She did this to you, he whispered. She chose him over you? I stared at the ceiling, feeling something inside me crack and reform into something harder. I'm done being quiet, I said. Detective Harper met my gaze. Good, she replied. Because what we have on them will destroy them. But Derek didn't go down quietly, and what he tried to do next almost finished what the basement started. Derek didn't go down quietly. That was the first thing Detective Harper warned me. He knows the evidence is overwhelming, she said, and people like him don't just accept that. I was still in my hospital bed when I heard the shouting down the hallway. Raised voices, angry, then the door burst open. 2 officers rushed in, followed by my father. What's happening? I asked. Derek's been located, Detective Harper said tightly, and he's not cooperating. My heart started racing. He tried to destroy the pharmacy records, she continued. And when officers went to arrest him, he ran. The words felt unreal. He ran. He knows what's on those cameras, she said. He knows what your mother said. And now he's desperate? The next few hours were chaos. Police radios crackled nonstop. Nurses rushed in and out. My phone buzzed with messages from people who had just seen the news alert. Local pharmacy employee wanted in connection with drug ring and attempted homicide. That was Derek, the man who had locked me in a freezer, and he was still out there. He won't come here, my father tried to reassure me. But Detective Harper didn't look convinced. He knows Elena is the key witness, she said, and people who are cornered do stupid things. That night, the hospital went on lockdown. Security guards were stationed outside my room. Cameras watched every hallway, but none of that stopped my phone from lighting up. Unknown number. A message appeared, you should have stayed quiet. My blood turned cold. Another message followed, you ruined everything. I stared at the screen, shaking. He has my number, I whispered. Detective Harper took the phone. He must have memorized it, she said. We'll trace it? Then the power went out, the lights died, the machines went silent. The room fell into darkness. A second later, emergency lights flickered on. Red, dim, my heart pounded. This wasn't an accident, Detective Harper said. A scream echoed down the hallway, footsteps, running. The security guard outside my door shouted. Then his voice cut off. The door handle began to move, slowly, deliberately. He's here, Detective Harper whispered. She drew her weapon, the door burst open. A figure lunged inside. Derek, his eyes were wild. You did this to me, he screamed. You think some cameras make you special? I tried to scream, but no sound came out. He took one step toward me, and then 3 officers tackled him from behind. He fought like an animal. You should have died down there, he yelled. You were supposed to disappear? They dragged him out, still screaming. The power came back on. Silence filled the room. I was shaking so badly I couldn't stop. Detective Harper knelt beside me. He's done, she said. He can't hurt you anymore. But I knew one thing. Derek wasn't the only one who had tried to kill me, and the last chapter still hadn't been written, because the courtroom would reveal the final truth and who really tried to erase me. The courtroom was silent when I walked in. Every step felt heavy, like the floor itself remembered what had happened to me. Reporters filled the back rows. Cameras flashed. People whispered my name, Elena Brooks, the girl who had been locked in a freezer by her own family. Derek sat at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit. His eyes were hollow now, no smirk, no confidence. My mother sat beside him. She didn't look at me. The judge entered. The room rose. "Proceed," he said. The prosecution began with the basement footage. The screen lit up. The courtroom watched Derek checking the temperature display before pushing me down the stairs, then locking the door. Then dragging something heavy in front of it. Gasps filled the room. "That is not a prank," the prosecutor said. "That is premeditated murder." Then came the pharmacy footage, Derek exchanging pills for cash. My mother sitting at her desk, counting inventory, covering for him. "Relax," she told him in the video. "Elena's too spaced out to notice." People turned in their seats. Then the most devastating clip played, the night she came home. My voice from the basement. "Mom, please," her hand on the door, her hesitation, her choice to walk away. I closed my eyes. The courtroom didn't. When it was time for testimony, I stood. My legs trembled, but my voice didn't. "He didn't just try to kill me," I said. "He planned it, and he didn't do it alone." I turned to my mother. She knew. She drugged me. She gaslit me. She let me freeze because I was inconvenient. She finally looked at me. Not with regret, with fear. The verdict came quickly. Derek, guilty on all counts. My mother, guilty as an accomplice. The judge's voice was cold. For attempted murder, drug trafficking, and conspiracy, Derek Brooks is sentenced to 25 years. A gasp rippled through the room. And Carol Brooks is sentenced to 15. My mother broke down. I didn't. Outside, the cameras were waiting. "How does it feel?" someone shouted. I looked straight into the lens. "The truth doesn't stay buried," I said. "Not even in basements?" Months later, I moved into a small apartment near campus. I started therapy. I started healing. And with Detective Harper's help, I started something else too, a foundation. For people trapped inside families that were supposed to protect them. We called it Basement Light. Because sometimes the darkest places are inside the people you trust. But light always finds a way in, and so does the truth.